to flatcapeurotalk, and this is going to be my first ever scout report on a player, and it is going to be Kim Min-Jae or Jae-Min Kim. Do let me know how to do that correctly or how to say that correctly. He recently just got his move to Fenerbahce, a player that has been heavily rumored in the past with Spurs, so I figured this would be an excellent player to start with in terms of a scout report. Kim Min-Jae, he's absolutely, I would say, a very, very talented player. I think he's only 24 years old. I definitely do rate him as watching some highlight reel packages of him in the past. He's a very intelligent player, has tons of vision, has a good long ball, very good in the air, very strong. Nicknamed the Monster by plenty, and I find that to be absolutely a good sign or a good, a good telltale sign for him being a very talented player, being a very industrious player, you might even say. But he was originally, let's move on to his background here. He was originally born in Tongyang, South Korea, which I do believe is in the southern province of South Gyeongsang province of South Korea. Do correct me on any of these pronunciations, please, because I do like to get them correct. And he also actually comes from an athletic family. His brother is also a footballer who's actually a goalkeeper for his university team, Christian University, I do believe. But he definitely comes from an athletic group of definitely comes from a very athletic family. He entered the Yeoncho Middle School and Suwon Technical High School when growing up, especially that Suwon Technical High School is apparently known for producing lots of very talented Korean athletes. It even produced the very, very famous footballer, of course, Park Ji-sung, the very famous PSV Eindhoven and Manchester United player. But after his Suwon Technical High School education, he moved on to Yonsei University, and he actually dropped out as a sophomore there to pursue his career in football. So that's just a bit of background on him. He is from the South Gyeongsang province of South Korea, and he comes from a very athletic family, which I do find to be very fascinating, actually. In terms of his actual football, he originally did play for a team in South Korea by the name of, he originally entered, just a moment here, he originally entered a team called Gyeongju KNHP, which I believe is in the Korean National League, not the regular K League, but I do believe it's like the third league of the Korean National League, kind of the non-league division, you might say. He went there on a free transfer, was just recruited into the team, and definitely performed very well to begin with, and actually was then able to earn himself a move over to Jeonbuk Hyundai Motors, which is another K-League team, I think a bit higher up in the K-League. Do correct me if any of this information is wrong. And he actually, in his debut there, he started and won his first match in a 2-1 victory over rivals Jeonnam Dragons, which are apparently is a big derby between the two teams. Be interesting to know if anybody does have any informations on these kind of Korean rivalries between clubs. I'd be very fascinated to learn more about that. In his 2017 season with Jeonbuk Hyundai Motors, Kim Min-Jae won the K-League Young Player of the Year and also made the All K-League 11 of the season as well, which is definitely shows that from the beginning of his football pursuit, he was definitely always going to be a very talented player. It seemed to immediately prove himself to be maybe better than the K-League, and that was able to move or earn him a move to Beijing Guan, which is a very, I would say, talented and probably more of a powerhouse of the Chinese Super League. Maybe so I've read or so I've been told. In his seasons there, he helped them finish runners-up twice, I believe, in the Chinese Super League there. He got his move from Jeonbuk Hyundai Motors was for a fee of around £4.73 million, which I would say, for the Chinese Super League at the time, probably wasn't too much money considering how much they were paying for other players. But I think it does show that if Beijing Guan, I would say a powerhouse of the Chinese Super League, if they saw him as a talent, really did show that from the beginning, this guy is going to be going places. After he earned his move there, he definitely was well liked by the team, well liked by the fans, one of the best center backs and young defenders in the entire Chinese Super League. And with that kind of reputation that he was earning as an up and coming Korean defender, he was able to earn then kind of this move to Fenerbahce. But a bit interestingly, I will say, that move that he earned to Fenerbahce was a bit of a surprise, considering that he actually was accordingly wanting to prefer his move to the Premier League, and in fact, to a team like Spurs as well, to a team like Tottenham. But apparently, the 10 million pound plus move away from the Chinese Super League was just too complicated, or the clubs could not agree on any sort of fee or any sort of deal, and so he actually had to move to the Fenerbahce, the Turkish league, the Turkish Super League instead. And Fenerbahce is a team in Istanbul, in case you were wondering. And he only moved there for a fee of 2.7 million pounds, which I would say is actually nowhere near the price that he was probably expected to move to the Premier League for. I think his move to the Premier League probably would have been well over 10 million pounds. I'm quite sure. And so let's just break down maybe the stats actually on Kim Min-Jae here. He's actually, I think this is for Beijing Guan. He's played a total of 59 matches there. His entire time there, he had a total of 49 interceptions, 29 tackles won. And in his 2019 season, which I do believe he played over 29 matches in that 2019 season, he had 3.2 clearances per game and also won 1.8 aerial duels per 90 as well. It's really hard to get any sort of gauge via SofaScore or Football Reference on any of the stats here. It's definitely not plentiful, I would say, the stats from the Chinese Super League, especially during the pandemic era there as well. So it must be kind of taken, some of these stats with a grain of salt. There's not even really many stats to work with. So we're kind of actually relying heavily on the highlights packages and the highlights reels from Kim Min-Jae. I'm looking forward to updating the scout report actually in the future after he has a few more games and a few more weeks over at Fenerbahce, because he's going to be in the Europa League over there. He's also the Turkish Super League. Does keep probably better stats of players over there as well. So it'd be very interesting to see how he progresses there. And I do hope that, he kicks off very strong over there, especially if he wants that move to the Premier League. He's going to have to be able to step up for the Fenerbahce side. But I would say in the Turkish league, the defending is maybe not the greatest, but at the same time, it's a very intense league. The fans expect a lot from their players, and it's just very intense atmosphere there. So I think it all at the end of the day is going to be a good learning experience for him. But these are his stats that I could find that I feel like are worth mentioning for him that during his times at Beijing Guan. He's known as the monster. He's a very powerful defender, and so maybe some of these stats might suggest that to a degree. But let's go on to his attributes. He's definitely in his highlights reel and packages, from what I've seen, he's a very aggressive defender. But with that aggression, he's actually quite intelligent. He's able to see kind of the development of players, see any dangers before they happen. Kind of a bit similar, I would say, to how Sergei Reguilon kind of likes to intercept the passes for Spurs. Kind of sees the game, maybe sees kind of the dangers before they happen, likes to read the game, likes to anticipate maybe danger, you might say. So he's a very intelligent defender, but he also has incredible vision, I would say. He actually likes to take the ball quite high up the pitch. He definitely, once he's further in the Europa League and Turkish league, I'd like to see what his progressive carries are, because he is quite talented, I would say, at carrying the ball. He's quite good with his feet, quite tidy with his feet as well. So I would say that must be taken into his count, because kind of like maybe Cudi Romero or Christian Romero, he's able to win the ball high up, but then also take it past a few players and then play a very dangerous ball up to the attackers as well. He can almost even bypass his own midfield with how aggressive he can be in that regard. So definitely an interesting attribute, I would say, for Kim Min-Jae. He's also very athletic, I would say. And again, it comes from a very athletic family. He definitely has a good aerial ability, good leap on him. And then as well, he also has some pretty incredible headers that he's scored for the Korean national team, especially one of them was a cross from Sonny that I saw that he was able to knot home with absolute venom. So I would say the guy is definitely very powerful in the air from the looks of it. And he's quite strong. Again, nicknamed the monster. Very, very tall as well. Kim Min-Jae, he's a very tall defender. He's kind of very robust, very industrious. So let's just definitely keep an eye on him. He's definitely a player that I've just look forward to seeing more stats on. Again, there's only so many stats you can really find on the guy that are really worth mentioning. I really look forward to seeing how this guy can move on in the Turkish league over there. So Kim Min-Jae, all the best of luck to you. Hopefully he can develop there and maybe earn that move to Spurs a bit later. But that'll be all for now, everybody. This is kind of a bit of an outside shout scout report. It's definitely what the Harris Army and the Flat Cap Army wanted with Kim Min-Jae. I feel like I'd like to update it in the future. for when he has a few more games under his belt in the Turkish Super League. But do let me know if you enjoyed the scout report and also what other players you would like to see me do a scout report on. This one is a bit outside the box. It's kind of more finding out his background, where he's from, and what type of player he is, than really just diving deep into the stats, maybe like I'm used to. So do let me know if you enjoyed the scout report and if you'd like to see more similar to this one. Please hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed. Please hit that like if you enjoyed as well. Hit that bell maybe as well if you don't want to miss another scout report like this one. And I'll be seeing you.